opportunity in all the material available to ensure that youth get the best of the content, best of the platform, and best of the support everywhere. And we need to use all the opportunity and all the material available to ensure that youth get the best of the content, best of the platform, and best of the support.
Today we're in conversation with Mr. Anurag Pratap, Senior Director and Head CSR at Capgemini. Anurag brings with him more than 24 plus years of diversified experience in CSR, community development, project management and implementation, grant management, capacity planning, and resource management. Over the past 2 decades, he has worked with grassroots agencies, donor agencies, UN agencies, and corporates. Under his leadership, Capgemini has been able to become an industry leader in CSR skill development. Anurag, it's great to have you with us today.
Thank you, and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, sir. So, just to begin with, we want to understand a little bit about your personal and professional background and what led you to the social sector.
Oh, I was meant to be in this private sector. I started 24 years back, and if I look back, I don't think I got trained into anything else except doing social work. I wanted to be a lawyer, but I guess destiny has something else in plan. Yeah. So I never got an opportunity to study law. I got an opportunity to study rural management, and then from there I got into this particular sector. Enjoyed every minute, every second of the last 24 years, and I'm happily continuing this particular journey.
That's great, sir. And what about your journey at Capgemini? How did that begin?
This is what this will be my 7th year that I've started, and very exciting one because I got an opportunity to what is called create the framework for our CSR intervention. We came out with our revised strategy. We came out with our operating principles. We came out with our partnership engagement principle. We came out with the various policies which is acting as enabler for us to bring in the kind of alliances that we want to bring in. We got an opportunity to work on themes and issues that many of the corporates are not working, and we are very happy pursuing those agendas because we feel very strongly that one, there is a huge opportunities right now available for digital inclusion to happen in India. And the second is that there's a huge catchment of population which is completely alienated from the digital revolution that's happening in India. And there is, I'll say, space for our kind of work where we bring in skilling, we bring in education, we bring in emergency response, we bring in environment and sustainability in a way that can also help in bridging the digital divide which exists in this sector. So in that particular fashion, I'll say that very exciting journey. We reach out to more than 70 lakh people. We work with more than 25 NGO partners at present. We work in 12 different cities, and primarily we are focusing on urban development and urban poverty issues.
That's wonderful, sir. Now, on the subject of CSR at Capgemini, what is the vision behind all the CSR that you do?
What we have realized in the last decade or so that India is becoming two. One, India, which is very high on the digital expertise, knowledge. And they're using these skills and knowledge, expertise that they are having to access opportunities, get into newer areas, and create a better prospect for themselves. That's one India where which is growing and which is getting all the laurels and applaud for them and for country. There is sizable part of India which is lacking all these, which in a way, in the sense, put them on a very I'll say negative position where they can't access a number of opportunities which is available for them because they do not have the digital skills and expertise that they should be having. So the focus of our CSR work is to how we can bring in initiatives, program, and project which can help in reducing this digital divide which exists. That's one, and that too in the area of skilling, education primarily because that will create the supply line that you require for your skilling program to happen. And the second element of our CSR work is to how we can champion the digital inclusion in a wider network. For example, when I'm talking to you and when I'm talking to other people, players, stakeholder, how one can also convert them into the whole idea of they also investing in the digital inclusion work. Third element of our work is promoting, encouraging, facilitating tech for positive future, or I'll say in common parlance, tech for social good. And how we can encourage that, how we can create an environment where using tech for social good gets the kind of attention that it should be getting, how we can in the sense ensure that tech gets directed to the community based challenges, and how tech can, in the sense, play a role in articulating the voices, concerns, and aspirations of communities. Fourth element, which is very close to my heart, is that how we can ensure that our colleagues, our employees, become ambassador of the CSR transformation that's happening at the community level. And I feel very happy that more than 32% of our employee base is part of the work that we are doing in CSR. And 32% when you have a reference number of 110,000 employees who are working at Capgemini in India, 32% becomes a big number that it's associated with the CSR work that's happening. So these are four key elements of our CSR work, and the intent is that can we, in the sense, bring in a new mode of using our CSR investment in creating models and modules, which can then help many other corporates and state and other stakeholders to really influence the kind of work that they're doing.
That's wonderful to hear, sir. So talking about, the programs that Capgemini is doing, especially their LEAP project, how is that bridging the demographic digital divide in India today?
At Capgemini, we strongly believe that the right skill is the key differentiator for development, both at community and national level. We focus on access, we focus on inclusion, and we focus on quality as part of our intervention agenda. When I say access, the aim and intent of our LEAP Digital Academy is to make sure that they get access by youth who are not part of any educational intervention or who are not part of employment agenda. That's one. The second is that we try to ensure that youth coming from marginalized sections, girls coming from, I'll say, excluded background, youth with disability get the required attention and get the kind of support that they should be getting. And the third is the whole quality part, and the effort from our side on our LEAP Digital Academy is to ensure that from faculty to the kind of center that we create, in the sense, symbolizes our keen attention on quality part of our digital academies. We invest hugely in content creation, curriculum development. We invest in creating online platform for them so that they can what is called go back home and access some of these content whenever they get free time. And third, and the whole idea is that the content should be aligned with the business requirement. It should not be something which is purely academic, but it should find a fine balance between being academic and also being relevant to what business is looking for, so that the engagement or a deployment post the training becomes a lot more easier. And to ensure that we in the sense use close to 150 hours on soft skill part, which in the sense ensure that the youth who passes through our digital academies are not just good on the domain skills, but they are also good on articulating the domain skill knowledge that they are having. They are good on presenting themselves. They are good on making sure that their tasks get delivered in a best possible manner to the customer delight. And these are, I'll say, the salient feature that we have with our digital academy that we are running. We have also mapped all the future skills and the IT skills that is needed by IT larger ecosystem, so that it becomes easier for these youth to get trained into domain skills that is required by the market. One, and second is they get the accreditation that is required from either from the certifying agency or from the support agency like Capgemini in that particular case.
That's great, sir. So you mentioned about inclusion being an important aspect, an important value that at Capgemini you follow. Mm-hmm. How is that making a way into your skilling programs?
One, we have not what is called defined inclusion purely from I'll say person with disability angle, but for our definition of inclusion is much more broader, where we include the religious, ethnic, linguistic minorities. We are bringing in the gender component in this. The people with disability is certainly an important constituency in this. LGBT is another important constituent in this, the wider and broader definition of inclusion. And our focus on making sure that these communities get the access, get the required support, and a very quality support in the area of skilling, so that their deployment becomes a lot more easier when they appear for the interviews with employers. What we have also done is created the online counseling, career counseling platform, which help these communities, help these constituents to what is called get the required support. That's one. Second is also get information on what kind of skills which can be aligned to a map to them, and in which location these training programs are happening. It becomes easier for them to what is called identify which course is good for them, which center is nearer to them, and which area will give them a greater employment opportunities. So it's not for us, the focus on the skilling is not limited to, I'll say, running the digital academies, but the focus is on the whole skilling ecosystem, because running the digital academies is just one part of it. You are creating the what is called youth who is trained on the skill sets, domain skills that is needed at the market level. But you need to also ensure that you invest on the quality trainers, quality faculties, so that they provide the kind of input that is needed at the center level. You should invest on creating a symmetry between the demand and the supply, so that the demand and supply can interact with each other. A platform where employers and potential employees can come together and, in the sense, talk about what they are looking for and what I am having, and if there is any gap, then how a training provider can fill that particular gap. And the fourth element is that how you can do a what is called online career counseling, where a person can reach out using a toll-free number and talk to the counselor who is sitting on the other side to what is called get the required info. Proud to say that Capgemini is involved in all these four elements, because we strongly feel that India's youth is looking for a comprehensive support in the skilling sector, rather than limited to only the digital academies or I'll say one part of the skilling ecosystem.
I think that's a wonderful approach, how full circle the entire process is. And, on the subject of the skill ecosystem in India, the industry is a key part when we look at
Yep.
skill development.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
how have you been able to partner with industry, especially when it comes to placing a lot of your students?
Yeah. Not just placing. I feel very happy that I'm working with, and again, I'll say we'll be very few corporate who have a collaborative agenda with industry. We are working with some of the corporates where jointly we are funding skill academies.
Okay.
We are, and these are not, I'll say, limited or I'll say the insignificant investment that's happening in collaborative projects. They run into millions, and they run into multiple centers, and they also run into multiple years. And I'm very proud of these collaborative work that's happening there, where corporates are part of the skilling agenda of Capgemini. That's one. We are also working with some of the government agencies. Again, I'll say it's not just the principal engagement or knowledge engagement. It's the funding engagement is also there with government, making sure that they become part in the larger work that's happening. And this also ensure that we use these routes to also advocate the kind of skilling, skill training module or module that government should be focusing on. So we are working with corporate, we are working with government, and the aim and intent is that can we make sure that the skill agenda becomes much more broader rather than get limited to one corporate or two corporate. That's one. Second is this also enables us to use this particular engagement for the deployment of these trained youth. So that helps us to what is called hit at 86% plus engagement post the training, which I feel is higher than the national average on skilling work.
Definitely, sir. I think private and public partnerships are really the way forward when it comes to improving and enhancing our programs.
Yep.
Now, it's almost impossible, sir, to have a conversation these days without talking about COVID. So that's where I get into now.
Yeah.
How the pandemic impacted your efforts at Capgemini and especially your beneficiaries, and what has been the main challenge?
It's impacted all of us in multiple manner. It impacted us. It impacted our CSR operation, and impacted our skill centers that we are running. It impacted our school program that we are having. It impacted us, and what we did very proactively is to stand with our community, stand with our beneficiaries in all possible sense. We reached out to our beneficiaries in terms of cooked meal, in terms of dry rations. Made sure that they should not feel or get into the hardship. We opened up our helpline number, which we were running as a positive parenting helpline. We opened that up to handle the COVID impacted cases. People started using their toll-free number to talk to a psychiatrist, psychologist, counselor, and get the advice on how to manage the stress which is coming in. And these are some of the work that we did with communities. But we at the larger level, we worked with government hospitals by providing them with health supplies, ensuring that they should have everything in their hand to make sure that every patient who is coming to their hospital get the best of the treatment. So we worked with more than 35 government hospitals in 15 different locations. We provided them with PPEs, to face masks, to gloves, to sanitizer, to face shield, to you name it, and we provided those things. So that was part of the work that we did. Second, as I mentioned, dry ration, cooked meal was another work that we did, not limited only to the communities with whom we were engaged with, but we reached out to migrant workers, we reached out to daily wage earners, because we realized that this is something which is needed. And third was we use our tech expertise to come out with some of the tech solutions. We came out with CodeTrack to track the COVID impacted affected people. with certain added features there, where he or she can also ask for provisions or medical supplies or medicines and other things using the application. We also developed application for farmers called as Kishan Mart to enable them to access seeds and fertilizer directly from the manufacturer or from dealer.
I think that's absolutely wonderful, sir, because you have not leaved any stone unturned, if I may say so. Now, with COVID obviously changing the skilling landscape quite a bit, the demands for the kind of skills have also changed, and increasingly now it's being redirected towards more digital and IT skills. Yeah, and a lot of different existing skilling agencies are trying to break into this area. So, what advice do you have as a tech giant yourself for agencies who are trying to like devise digital skilling programs?
My advice is that invest in curating the right kind of content and curriculum, because that's one area which is where people need to really invest on. You can't what is called borrow it and then use it, but you need to also make sure that what kind of youth that you are working with, and then look at what kind of employer that you are going to play these youth to, and then try to build the curriculum which should be aligned with the requirement of the employer. That's one. The second is that again, invest on creating the right kind of platform so that your content can reach out to youth. Third is you will not have the luxury of something that we used to do earlier, to make youth sit for around 6 to 8 hours in a center and provide him or her with the content. And now you need to make sure that you provide the content in a capsule form, in a shorter module, so that he or she can get it, and without, in the sense, making him or her lose the interest in that particular subject. One, which I feel is very important, is to also invest on the access part of it, because there will be youth who will not be having a smartphone or computer at home, and how to ensure that he or she should not be left behind in the whole I'll say the journey of creating the digital content for the youth. We have I'll say a duty to ensure that all these youth who are not having a smartphone or I'll say a digital receiver in any form, whether you have a laptop or a desktop, or a smartphone or tablet or anything like that, if you're not having then these things, then how we can ensure that they get access to some form, so that he or she is not left behind in this particular march in the digital skilling space, because that is important. You as a CSR practitioner, my job is, and my advice is to others, is to ensure that we should not miss out those people who are marginalized.
Thank you, sir, for that very valuable advice. And now, when we look forward to the future, what does Capgemini have planned, and what's in store for the future?
We are going to continue with the larger skill ecosystem work that's happening. We are picking up some work that we'll be doing, especially with the MSME sector, on looking at their skilling requirement and their digitalization requirement purely, because we realize that COVID has impacted them badly, and how to ensure that the street shops or the roadside shops or the small shop that someone is having and dealing with, I'll say, small goods or some material, how he or she can use the digital platform to what is called get the same kind of benefit that he or she was getting earlier. That's one piece of the work that we will certainly be getting involved with. And second is we also want to what is called make sure that our digital delivery gets the right kind of fillip and attention, because we realize that you cannot run the physical center model only, and you can't have a hybrid model, because India is huge and you need to have a hybrid model. You need to have center plus online model to reach out to more and more people. And COVID taught us that the online model is possible. We were earlier thinking that it's not possible. We were thinking that the unemployed youth or youth coming from poverty bracket will find it very difficult to use their smartphone or the data to get access to the skilling content. But we were wrong. In the last 3 months or so, what we have seen is our mobilization is at par with what we used to mobilize earlier.
That's wonderful, sir. And we look forward to seeing all that Capgemini has in store for the future. So this brings us to the end of our interview. Thank you for such an insightful and engaging discussion. I mean, it was so great to hear from such an industry leader such as yourself, and especially the organization that you hail from. And I definitely hope that we can have more conversations around skilling in the future. So thank you, sir.
Thank you for giving us this opportunity to talk about the kind of work that Capgemini and our NGO partners are doing. So whatever I have said is all due to the work that NGO partners are doing at the field level, the work that my employees are doing as part of their employee engagement work, and the leadership who is providing us with the insight and the guidance and support to ensure that we continue to do what we are doing in this particular side.
That's wonderful, sir.
Thank you.